The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke and Kevin Price. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. We have a great show for you tonight, but first we want to let everybody know that our new issue of 912 Sports Magazine is out. It's our championship issue with 2 great stories and lots of amazing photos from both the Pierce and Coffee State Championships. We'll also recap the 912 Sports 2023 Football Award Show. This includes our Big Six winners, the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year from each of the 912 schools, and our 2023 postseason All 912 Sports football team. Last but not least is our basketball issue, featuring some of the most talented basketball players from around the 912. So pick up your copy today. Like I said earlier, it's a great show tonight. The state wrestling duels was this past weekend, and we have 2 state champions and 1 runner-up here in the 912. Kevin Price will have a report coming up. And then I had a chance to talk to Coach Corey Baldwin, head coach of the men's basketball team at South Georgia State. They've been on a nice run, so Coach will tell us about their season. So stick around. We've got a lot more to come right after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and we're joined here tonight by the head basketball coach for the South Georgia State College Hawks, Coach Corey Baldwin. Coach, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Coach, looked it up. This is your 15th year there at the school.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. 15 years. Been through a lot of changes, and some things have stayed the same. And man, it's been great. It's been great.
Well, you guys are off to another fantastic season, Coach, sitting there at 13-5 overall, 4-0 in conference play, really on a 5-game win streak. And you guys, I think, are sitting there at 9-2 since December 1st. So talk a little bit about what's going into the winning streak and how you guys have kind of turned things around after a couple of early losses.
Well, it's a combination of about 3 or 4 things put together. But one is we played probably the toughest non-conference schedule we've played since I've been here. We've gradually gotten tougher and tougher every year. But winning the league the last 2 of the 3 years, we returned 3 or 4 guys that were key components to last season's run. So we thought we'd up the ante a little bit. And there at the beginning, it might have been a little more than we needed to up it, but I do think it got us ready. And then we were able to bring along some guys that were maybe not as key role players or red shirts or true freshmen, and they kind of got rolling. And that's when December hit, and then we looked pretty good after that.
Right. Well, like I said, 4-0 in conference. And, of course, right now that's what you want to concentrate, winning that conference again. Like you said, 2 out of the last 3 years you guys have been conference champions. And you guys actually play in the Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association. That's correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And tough league. It's 9 junior colleges all in Georgia. It's 1 private school, which is Andrew College. And then it's 4 public universities, and then 4 technical colleges, trade schools. So we have 9 total. Us, Georgia Highlands, South Georgia Tech, Central Georgia Tech have kind of been the ones, at the top, in and out the last, few years. But, Albany Tech's always good. And there's been some other ones in there, Gordon and some of those other guys, East Georgia. So, it's a tough league.
Right. And Coach, you guys are, at a junior college, you're kind of different than from a 4-year university, because you really only get these guys for a couple of years. They're going to move on and play at the next. I lost you.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
All right, no problem. But anyway, I'll just start over there. Let me just get back to a point. And okay. And Coach, you guys are kind of at a disadvantage there at a junior college. Not really a disadvantage, but kind of a different outlay there, because you can only get these guys for 2 years, sometimes 3 if they redshirt. How difficult is that to only have that short of time with a kid to try to make them a better basketball player?
I mean, in today's society, so many people transfer and change, even in high school and college. It's not as different as it used to be, but it's definitely tough, because you usually right when you get them ready to be real good, that's about the time they're leaving. So they get used to what we do and they're comfortable, and then it's time to go to the next stop.
Well, Coach, you do get some kids here from the 912 area. I know you got a couple of Coffee kids, a Brantley kid. I think you guys added a Ware kid here, but kind of talk a little bit about some of the 912 players that are on your team.
We have Jordan Moore. We had his brother, who was a great player for us, Jace Moore, from Coffee County. And now we have Jordan, and his dad was a baseball player here. He played professionally as well. So, I guess they signed a deal a long time ago. They have to come to South Georgia State, but his brother's our starting point guard, and he's kind of a run the show guy, low turnover, smart player, really kind of keeps us going. Been injured for a couple of those losses we had early. And I think we realized how important he was to us when he was out. But really just a tough, hard-nosed kid on the court. And then we have Javon Ingram, who is also from Coffee County, a shooter, kind of a spark plug off the bench for us. Does a lot of good things for us. We have a kid from Claxton. I'm gonna throw that in the 912. You gonna let me? And,
yeah, that's close enough.
And he's a shooter. He redshirted here. Really, he was kind of an undersized post in high school, and he's turned himself into a shooter and does a lot of good things for us. And then we also have trying to think, I'm missing one. I know. Let me see. We have Trace Green.
You got a Brantley kid.
Yeah, Trace Green from Brantley. He would have probably been in the rotation this year, but he tore his ACL, so he's on a medical red shirt. Just got cleared for practice. He's been out with us. And then we took a kid, AJ Pinckney, who's redshirting from Ware County. So we do have some 912 guys. You know, it's always funny. One of the things that happen anytime you coach in college, the first thing they say is, you know, you got to get more local guys, or you don't get enough, or you got to get more foreign guys, or hey, you need more Atlanta, big city guys. It's always one or the other. But I would like to think we have a mixture. We have a lot of probably, you know, Atlanta, North Georgia, South Georgia, which is local, and then North Florida, which I consider local, on this roster. And every now and then we might snag a South Florida kid, you know, Orlando or further south even. But our roster is pretty much a circle from, you know, Jacksonville or a little below up to, you know, North Georgia. And that's kind of where we made our living and had some real good teams with it, you know.
Well, I saw you got a kid on there from London. So if you get to go on another recruiting trip to London, I'd like to volunteer to go with you.
In junior college, when you sign those foreign guys, it's all via what me and you are doing right now. The old chat room. And we have a kid from London. Now, he graduated from a Georgia high school, but he was a you know, a transient student with that, you know, transferred in from there. And then we have a kid from Australia. So we do have 2 international kids.
Right. Well, like I said, if you get to go on those recruiting trips, I'll volunteer to tag along on that. So, but Coach, you got a big game coming up this Saturday. You guys, I believe, play East Georgia. It's going to be right here in Waycross at the you know, at the school, 4:00 tip, and then you guys have got a little special presentation. I think you guys are doing for the Swamp Foxes, the Waycross Swamp Foxes. So, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we try to do something. We play. Most of our home games are in Waycross, but we have one in Douglas this semester, and on that one we tried to honor any players from the Swamp Foxes, the Hawks, or the Tigers, which is all 3, because they had a team at South Georgia College, you know, that ended in the mid '90s, that had started way back in, you know, 1910s. So they have been playing a long time. And we're doing the same thing that night in Waycross. Probably won't have as many of the Tigers because they would probably come to the one on Douglas campus. But we're going to try to honor any former Tigers, Swamp Foxes, or Hawks that have played, honor them at halftime, you know, present them with a T-shirt or whatever, and kind of give them some love. We've always had a pretty tight-knit family of guys that have played here. Of course, you know, I'm the only coach that's been here in the 15 years from Swamp Fox to Hawks. So, you know, I'm the winningest and the losingest. I'm the one they love the most and hate the most. So, but hopefully that can bring some here. It's more for them than it is for us or the fans, although myself and the fans will enjoy it for those that come back. But we definitely want to honor them. Going to have them in the locker room before the game and after the game.
A lot of your kids do go on to 4-year colleges once they leave there, and a lot of your kids, I've noticed, have taken on coaching jobs in other, you know, at other schools and all. How important is that, not only to get kids at the next level to continue their playing, but to get into the coaching profession after you've had a chance to coach them?
It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, it's the old grandpa that has everybody getting into the family business. You know, really, you know, it's probably the coolest thing that I've had since I've been in coaching. So many guys have gotten into it for whatever reason. You know, that was why I got into it. I originally played college basketball. I wanted to be a middle school coach. Football and basketball is what I thought. And after about a year of being, you know, scout team guy mainly and having to learn what all the other teams did, I knew, man, college is what I want to do. And I learned it from, you know, guys I played for. And hopefully, you know, some of that has happened here. They've either played for me and said, man, that guy's knucklehead, I can do way better, and go do it, or man, I enjoy what he does and I want a chance to do, you know, what he did. And that's, you know, neat. And we've had guys, you know, all levels. We've had guys that are in middle school, travel ball, high school, college, Division I, Division II, NAI, JUCO. I got 2 guys in this league that are head coaches that, you know, one played here, one was assistant here, one that played here was also an assistant here. We have another assistant that's an assistant in this league. So we have a lot of guys, you know, that got into it, and I think it's neat. You know, it makes me proud, obviously, and happy. But I think it's cool for recruiting because it helps in all kind of ways. You know, you can show them, hey, if basketball is something you want to do after playing, you know, this place can help prepare you. But also it helps you. So many high school guys and travel coaches that, and even middle school coaches that played for me will call me all the time with players. hey, this guy's good. This guy, man, we'll try to help you. And it's made recruiting a little easier, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Well, Coach, you guys go get better. Like I said, got a big game coming up Saturday, and then you guys keep on that winning streak, and hopefully we'll catch up with you down the road. Appreciate your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
All right, buddy. That's Corey Baldwin, head coach of the South Georgia State College Eagles, as they go up against East Georgia this Saturday at 4 p.m. So come on out to Waycross and check them out. Stick around. We got more on air with 912 Sports right after these messages.
Did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Price once again for On Air with 912 Sports. Last week in this very spot, I was here to give you a preview, a rundown of what would be taking place on the weekend in the Team State Duels Wrestling Championships here in the state of Georgia, and what Southeast Georgia teams from our 912 coverage area would be participating in those state championship meets in all the various classifications. Now, this week, I'm back to give you a rundown, a recap of what happened last weekend in team duels, and Southeast Georgia was right in the mix again. A big storyline, two state championships for us here in Southeast Georgia by our 912 area teams. I'll give you the first one. Once again, the Camden County Wildcats in Class 7A. Camden winning a state championship is basically guaranteed, almost like you can bet on it that a green jacket will go to the winner of the Masters tournament in Augusta in April. But nothing guaranteed actually for Camden County. They have to go out and earn it, and this one they certainly did. They were pushed to the brink by Buford in the title match, two of the best wrestling programs in the country. If you look at their history and their rankings, it went down to a tiebreaker. They were all square, all tied. After all the matches were complete, they had to go down to several tiebreakers in the rule book before they could determine a winner. I think it took close to 10 minutes to do this as they went through the scorebook to figure it out. But the Camden County Wildcats come on top again, so they come out on top again, so they get the extra point, and they win another state championship. I say another because it was their 10th in a row in team duels and their 20th state championship overall, whether it's duels wrestling or the traditional wrestling, which is coming up next, and we'll talk about that later on down the line. So even though they were pushed to the limit, we're tied at the end of all the matches in the state final against Buford. Once again, the Camden County Wildcats came out on top through the tiebreaker. So they win yet another state championship and continue on their unbelievable role. And, of course, they'll be back to try to do it all again in traditional wrestling, which we'll talk about again in a moment. Now, moving down just one classification, Class 6A, where we had two teams competing for the state title. It actually came down to our two teams, South Effingham and Glenn Academy. South Effingham, the Area 2 champion, Glenn, the runner-up. And once again, in state duels, these two teams met in the championship final. It was the dream matchup for us here in the 912 in Southeast Georgia. Much like Class 7A, it comes down to a tiebreaker. South Effingham and Glenn Academy tied after all the individual matches, and South Effingham won the tiebreaker. This one was determined not going quite as far down. South Effingham had 4 matches that they won by pin. Camden had 3, so they came out on top in the max point matches and won by 1 and then got the extra point. South Effingham repeats as the state champion. They won their first state title last year in Class 6A, so they go back-to-back with another first place finish this year. Glenn Academy finishes second after finishing 4th a year ago, so they improved by 2 spots. get the runner-up spot this year. Heck of a season for the Red Terrors, the only team better than them in the area and the state, the South Effingham Mustangs. But Glenn Academy with their highest finish ever, and what a run it was for them and their fans. I know they had a good following up there. If you look at some of the pictures on social media behind the Red Terrors last weekend, cheering the guys all the way to the finish line, it was a great sight, and Glenn almost gets it done. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of with an incredible run for the Red Terrors. So our two Southeast Georgia teams in Class 6A finished 1 and 2.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Now, several other teams from around Southeast Georgia competed in the other classifications in the state. We do, of course, have 7 classifications. You can go to the GHSA website, click the link for the brackets, and find out just exactly how far everybody else did go. So now, what's next in high school wrestling? The season not over. There are 2 postseasons, if you will, in high school wrestling. We had the team duels, where it's team against team. Now we move into the traditional postseason. Traditional wrestling, again, if you're not familiar with wrestling, it's basically teams competing like they do, but each individual for those teams compete in their own weight classes. They can earn an individual state championship or certainly place in state if they don't win. And then as they finish up in their individual brackets, they get certain amount of points for, the state title, the runner-up, finishing third, finishing fourth, and so on. And those points go to the team score, so there are still team championships. Again, that's how Camden has won traditional state titles as well. So the rundown will be area tournaments next week. We'll kind of do it all over again in the areas. Then they'll have a state sectional where they trim the field down a little bit before they move on to the final site, which once again, traditionally here in Georgia, it will be the Macon Centerplex. That will be where the individual and team traditional titles are decided. So several big weeks of high school wrestling still coming down the chute. And once again, our 912 area team should fare well throughout all of the classifications. These same teams that we mentioned here today, Camden, South Effingham, and Glenn Academy. They can't win those duals titles without having good individual wrestlers. So some of their top guys will certainly be in the mix for state championships and high place finishes in the state. Camden County, you figure, might very well, certainly will be the team to beat in Class 7A once again. So stay tuned. More wrestling coming up. We'll have it all right here for you on 912 Sports, rundowns and previews, and we'll see exactly how all of our 912 area teams do, team-wise and individual-wise, coming up. So several big weeks to follow in high school wrestling. Get out and watch some wrestling, and certainly follow it as we go all the way to the finish line there in Macon. So once again, for On Air with 912 Sports, I'm Kevin Price.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.